Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Living and Loving with yours truly, country music singer, songwriter, recording artist Monique McCall. And today I have a true superstar with me. He is the youngest triathlete ever with DS. He won the Adaptive Athlete of the Year award. Not only that, he's been a guest on the Today Show. And he also has his very own YouTube cooking channel. So we're going to talk about that in a few. But everyone, please welcome with me here today, Caleb J. Prewitt and his beautiful mother. And thank you for joining me, Caleb. This is so exciting. You have done so much. Of course. So you have done so much in the way of the world of athletics and getting out and living and loving your dream of being a triathlete. And I want to learn a little bit more about that today. So I think your mom's going to help me do that. So, being a triathlete means that you're a runner, you're biking, and you're swimming. Which one of those events is your favorite?
My favorite is swimming.
Swimming. Okay, so tell me a little bit about why swimming is your favorite and what happens for you when you're in that water.
Swimming with Lucy, Mom.
Yeah, usually. So when Caleb does a triathlon, he usually has a partner. Sometimes they call the partner a guide. Sometimes they call him a unified partner. That's the Special Olympics term. And it's just somebody who is there to keep him on track, to make sure he's safe. And so when he refers to swimming with me, usually if he's doing a triathlon, it's either me or who's your other buddy?
Stephen Wright.
Stephen Wright is a young man who volunteers with Special Olympics, and he swims with Caleb at the Special Olympic triathlons.
So who's a better partner, Mom or Stephen?
Stephen.
Yeah. Stephen. I knew that was coming.
I'm sorry, Mom.
It's okay.
So now you've been a triathlete for how long?
Now it is 2.
2 years. So 2 years ago, not even 2 years ago, he did his first triathlon, and he's done 18 since. So we've just been going full throttle, and he loves it. We tried something new in the last month, and that's called an aquathlon, and that's swimming and running. So no biking. And so that was really interesting. He liked that too. And so it's, triathlon, but it's also known as multi-sport. There's different ways you can combine the 3 activities.
So how do they combine them in Special Olympics? Is it different than the regular Olympics? I would imagine that it's a short triathlon as opposed to a long.
So Caleb and his friends typically compete in what they call a sprint triathlon.
Okay.
And so that's usually a 400-meter swim, 12 to 15 mile bike, and a 5K run. But if you're doing an Olympic one, you can double all those distances.
So what is the hardest phase of competition in a triathlete for you? Is it running, biking, or swimming?
What about with bike and running?
Now, what's the hardest one? You said swimming is your favorite. So what's the hardest one?
My hardest is bikes.
Biking. Biking is hard because it's long. And it's, there can be hills, and hills are hard.
Hills are hard. It's like the hills in life. They're always hard, right? Life goes like this. It's kind of like the biking phase of being a triathlete. So what does the hardest hill look like that you've ever taken, Caleb?
It's actually down in Claremont, and it's called Oh, what's it called? I forget what it's called. It's in Claremont though, so down in South Florida, it's the biggest hill. I'll have to think of it. But it took us a while to break that hill down.
Wow, look at those muscles. You're really laying it all out today on Living and Loving. That is fantastic. Speaking of those muscles, how long did it take you to get those muscles and to build up to, doing 18 triathlons? That is a lot of triathlons in 2 years.
Yeah, geez.
So what do we do every day after school?
Let's go with Miss Puss, Mrs. T's.
Now, what do we do after school?
Oh, I see.
Yeah, we usually after school, we usually do one of the 3 disciplines. We're either swimming, biking, or running, or sometimes we're doing weightlifting. Weightlifting is really important for everybody, not just athletes. It's really important for women and for, I guess kids over the age of 14 or 15. But it's just important for everybody. So we try and squeeze that in a couple times a week. And then now that it's summertime, we're racing pretty much every weekend. So we have to be ready.
That is a lot of hard work that you're putting in, Caleb. And I understand that you got a chance to compete in the beautiful sunshine state of Florida, where you call home, at Disney World, because we hosted here in the state of Florida the USA, the National Olympic Games. Is that true?
You do USA Games last year?
Yes.
Yes.
And did you do them at the home of Mickey Mouse?
That's in my gift house.
Yes. That was very exciting, yeah.
So how did you do? Did you come home with medals?
Yes.
Yes. So Caleb did last year at USA Games. He did the open water swim, which was a 1K swim, and then he did the triathlon. And so it was a very exciting 10 days of watching our friends compete, because it wasn't just triathlon, it was all the different sports. And so they had, I think they had 12 or 15 different sports. And so it was a lot of fun to see our friends competing. And then we were the very last day. So it was a long wait. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that must have been a big buildup for you, Caleb. Now, do you like watching your friends compete, or do you like competing more?
I can do my boy.
Yeah, he likes competing more, I think. But we love to cheer on our friends.
So how many medals have you won in the last 2 years?
25.
But who's counting, right?
We have a wall in his room. Can you sit up, please?
All right.
And so we hang his medals up there. And so he does not only triathlon, but he's doing 5K races now too. So he has a lot of medals. Yeah.
So 5Ks, that's not an easy race. That's a pretty fast race these days. So how fast is your mile?
We're working on that. I think it's fastest mile is what, about 12 minutes?
Yeah.
12 minutes. 12 minutes. Yeah.
Wow, good for you. So now, what is your biggest goal in the next year? What is he hoping to achieve going forward as a triathlete?
We have some really big goals. And so, when he was born with Down syndrome, the doctors were pretty negative about what he could do, what the possibilities would be in his life. And his dad and I, had older kids, and we decided that we were going to raise him just like we raised our other kids. We were going to let him try things that he wanted to try, with safety in mind, of course. But we were going to try not to limit him in the things that he could do. And so now that he's done a number of sprint triathlons, we're looking to do a longer distance, like you were referencing, the Olympic distance triathlon. And so that is a goal.
And
so
that is a goal for this year?
Is that a goal for this year?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So I was reading about you online because you're super famous, and I saw that you have an incredible mentor. Do you have a mentor named Chris?
Yes.
Is Chris your buddy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, is Chris one of your heroes?
Is he one of your heroes?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So go ahead.
No, what is the best thing that Chris has taught you being a triathlete?
I'm great with running
Mm-hmm.
and bikes.
Mm-hmm.
Bikes.
He taught you all those things, right?
Yeah,
So
bikes. Yeah.
so we met Chris at bike camp because Caleb didn't know how to ride a bike a couple of years ago. And we decided we were going to go to bike camp. And we met Chris because that's where he learned how to ride a bike. Mm-hmm. And so just talking with him about his journey, and he was super encouraging about, living to your potential. And I think he's just really a great role model for Caleb to keep reaching for bigger and better goals, and to not limit yourself. So he's a friend, and we see him once a month because we go down to Claremont for triathlon training with Special Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Have a team down there that we all train together, right?
Yeah.
Is that a lot of fun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can imagine. So, having mentors, Karen, did you have that for your other children as well? And how do you feel about that? Has that made a big difference for Caleb and your other children if you did have mentors?
Sure. And, it doesn't have to be somebody who's doing big, fantastic things. It can be a friend from church, or it could be a teacher, or somebody who's living their life the way that you would emulate. Courtney, our daughter, is she's not athletic, and she will admit that, although she does try and run. But she's more artsy. And so she's got, like we were talking about before, she's got her own Etsy shop. She loves to create things. And so she's got people who she looked up to as far as like artistic endeavors. And I think it's great for anybody. I was a runner when I was in middle school, and I had definitely Joan Benoit was one of my role models when I was a kid. I think it's important for everybody to have someone to look up to and to aspire to.
Absolutely. I had so many mentors along the way, and I still do. We can never have enough great role models and mentors. And to go back to what you were saying before, that, you raised all your children the same, no limits, and you let them guide you, from what I understand, in what it is that they were interested in. Now, what can you share with parents, the best way to find your child's fire? I think that's one of the hardest things to discover. What can you share, and how to, garner that and then stoke it and keep it alive?
Right. And it's so important. So when Caleb was little, we did what I call a scatter shot approach, and we let him try, for example, Special Olympics. We let him try all the sports. We were busy because people think Special Olympics is just once a year. Well, it's all year long. There's all kinds of different sports that you can do. And so we let him try bowling. We let him try, what else did you try? Basketball. We let him try flag football.
And golf.
So he's tried all these things. And now that he's older, we've really tried to narrow it down to what's the things that he is really good at, and what's the things that he's really passionate about. And so now I think what's your 3 favorite sports?
Bowling.
No, not bowling.
Taiwan.
Triathlon.
Race.
Golf. You mentioned golf,
Yeah,
right?
golf.
And what do you do on your horse?
Horse riding.
Equestrian. Yeah.
Wow, you ride horses too, so you're really busy.
Oh yeah, it was.
Now, on top of being a triathlete, do you have a job?
Yes, it's up.
What job do you do?
Yeah. So during COVID, he has his own Facebook page, and so we decided, well, let's start cooking. He's always loved to cook, and so let's start cooking once a week on his Facebook page, and that was really a lot of fun. We learned a lot, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. He pretty much taught Mom how to cook because I didn't know how to cook. So it kind of blossomed into his cookie company. And so we've expanded, and now we're making cookies for some friends.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about the limit of it right now. There's a bakery in town that we will connect with once they're open and running.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, that our baking for our friends keeps us busy, right?
So is this going to be called Caleb's Cookies?
Yeah.
It has a nice ring to it, I have to say, Caleb.
And Big Sister already the stickers made, right?
You already have all the merch and the marketing materials?
All right.
Yes.
So if I lived closer, I'd be on my way over with a gallon of milk because I heard you have a great chocolate chip cookie.
It's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah.
So where can people find Caleb?
So Caleb has his own social media. It's he's on Instagram, he's on Facebook, he's on TikTok, he's on YouTube, and it's all pretty much Caleb's Crew. And that was born from
Nice.
from his Buddy Walk team. The Buddy Walk is a fun. There you go. You can see it. Caleb's Crew.
Yes. Now let's see the muscles. Yes.
Thanks. So again, Big Sister, the creative influence, and she designed these shirts for us. So we're grateful to her, and she's living her own life too, living and loving in her own way, right?
I'm so glad that everyone's out living and loving. That's why I was so excited to have you on today. So how can I join Caleb's Crew? Do you have a special way to join? Do I get an introductory package or something?
That is a great idea. Yeah. You just, people can follow along. We love to, I try and post most mornings on his Facebook page, just an update about what's going on, some fun things that are coming up. And we have some big things coming up, don't we?
Yeah.
And so, we love interaction with our followers, and we've got a good solid core who comment every day and wish us well. And so that's, really we love to encourage people to live their best life, whatever that looks like for them. Right.
And that is one of the most important aspects of living life, is to live the best life that you possibly can. And that's a part of the message here today. And that is exactly what Caleb is doing. So Caleb, thank you so much for joining me. And Karen, well, you are an absolute superstar, and I wish you all the best and continued success. But before I let you and your mom go, I have one question I always ask all of my guests. And maybe Mom will help you answer this one. But I always like to know, as a country music singer, songwriter, and recording artist, what is the one song that speaks to your heart and sums up the essence of your being? So what is Caleb's song?
Oh, gosh.
It's Move by Jagger.
Moves like Jagger.
What did he say it was?
Moves like Jagger.
Moves like Jagger. I could see that. Can you sing some?
Oh gosh, can you sing it?
Yeah.
Try and sing it.
Gaga.
You can dance to it better than you
Got
can
to
sing.
move, Mick Jagger. Got to move, Mick Jagger.
There you go.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Caleb and Karen,
God.
for joining me today. And thank you, everyone, for listening to another episode of Living and Loving with yours truly, country music singer, songwriter Monique McCall. Everyone, as Caleb and Karen said, get out, live your best life. And you know what? Don't be afraid to have mentors and great role models to surround you, because a support system is key. God bless you, Caleb and Karen, and I will see you in Jacksonville. I'm going to come run with you, Caleb. As soon as I get up your way, I will be reaching out.
Yeah,
And I will be joining Caleb's crew. So everybody,
yes.
follow Caleb on his next triathlete. Thank you so much. Bye.